Welcome everybody out to podcast number 466. Today we're going to talk about a topic that I will title, It's Not in Procore. Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well. And I also hope I don't get sued for this podcast today, but I am like on one about this topic. And I really want to make sure that we have this straight, because I hear this all the time when I go around to projects and it's kind of annoying me and I want to get it fixed. So whatever you're talking about, unless it's just drawings or drawing revisions, it's probably not in Procore and whatever other project management system you are using. And I'm annoyed that we think that that happens. Let me talk about some fundamentals here that I think you're going to appreciate and also feel a little bit overwhelmed about. But this is one of the things I do want to say, and please don't get mad at me. This is just how it's done. I didn't make it. It's not my fault. It's not something that I'm claiming credit for. This is just how good construction projects are built. And there is no other way. And one day there will maybe be another way, but it will be the speeding up of the flow of information for these things, not the absence of the information of these things, that will help us. So I'm just going to shoot you straight right here. You cannot run a project without a schedule that is created before you start work in the field. And you cannot be successful as you can be without a Takt plan as the basis of your schedule. And or somebody using a software like P6 or Microsoft Project or Asta, using production and Takt and builder principles in the software. But if you strictly just use CPM techniques, you cannot be successful with just that scheduling system alone. So for the rest of you that have been using P6 for years and you've been focusing on critical chains and trade flows and crew tying activities and creating buffers in the system, don't get after me. You've been using a P6 or Asta or Microsoft Project system with builder mentalities. That's why you've been successful. If we talk about true, real CPM, it ain't going to happen. So you have to have a great schedule. The second thing is you have to have a great quality program. You have to have a program where you buy out the right scope. You queue people up for success in pre-mobilization. You have a pre-construction meeting, a first-in-place mock-up, and a way to do ongoing inspections and closeout inspections, and a way to trigger that to where everybody that comes on site is prepared, knowing the expectations, what they're going to build, how they're going to build it. The other thing is a financial projections sheet. Now, this one's, I might just do a podcast on this later on and just see where we go with it. But I'll mention briefly in here, you cannot manage a project and be ultimately as successful as you should be without having your risk and opportunity register feed into a financial projection summary where you know your original or target scope budget or subcontracting budget or contracting budget versus what your current is, seeing any of your buyout contingency, and then the over and under from that budget. You cannot be successful without a financial projection summary sheet, without being able to see the percentage of current scopes that are bought out and the remaining scopes that are bought out. You cannot be successful without seeing the balance there. You cannot be successful in a project unless your financial projection summary also shows your fee, your labor gains, your gains for bonds and insurance, your gains on equipment rental, any other categories from your general requirements, and any gains that you have on the project in general. You cannot be successful on a project unless you have a financial projection summary that also projects any of your exposures, known or projected, or any of your projected risks by probability. And knowing if you have enough contractor contingency to cover that. You cannot be successful also unless you have a financial projection summary that includes, and this is all the same financial projection summary. I'm just anchoring you constantly back to the format to where you know known and accepted change orders or potential change orders and the outstanding owner contingency balance or design contingency balance. All of that should total, meaning your remaining budget, your buyout contingency, your over under percentage of buyout complete remaining, any of the over under balance, your fee, labor gains, gains on bonds and insurance, equipment rental, GRs, your the math, the addition and subtraction, or the summation of known exposures and projected exposures from contractor contingency and known change orders and potential change orders from owner contingency or design contingency. All of that totaled down to where you have a current financial projection, and on the project, you know the status of all the buckets, the owner's budget, contingency buckets, and your gross margin for the project target and the delta from what it should have been in order for you to be a sustainable business, because every sustainable business will have a gross margin target, their general and administrative costs, and then their net profit, which has taxes, bonuses, investment cash, and operating cash. You cannot be successful without that. So let me keep going. That was the financial piece. Your risk and opportunity register, you cannot be successful without having a risk and opportunity register that ties into the financial projections. You cannot be successful unless you have a buyout and material procurement log, separate logs. And you cannot be successful unless you have a roadblock removal system and a way to track team health. In this podcast, I am going to talk about your buyout log and your material procurement log. I'm not referencing any exact templates. I'm going off the top of my head right now, but your buyout log should be aligned with the takted rhythm of the project so that you know what trade partners for what scopes should be bought out and ready for the time that you're going to build. And that means that you have their scope identified, that you have their inclusions and exclusions, that you have their contract drafted, contract accepted, and they're signed up. Bonds and insurance. Insurance is the most important thing here. Insurance ready to go so they can start on the site. And anything else, like if you want to say quality plans submitted, safety plans submitted, are they pre-qualified? Do they have their corrective action plans in place? Anything that's needed for them to come onto the project site and be successful and really win. And so the focus that I have right now is that we have that buyout log. You have to have it. I've seen it best done in Excel, and people are like, oh yeah, we have that. We have a system for that, or that's in Procore. What I really hear is with the procurement log. And I'm like, we need a procurement log to track the supply chain. And in that supply chain, what I'm worried about is that after the buyout, we now have the contractor up and running and they're ready to do work. But now they have their submittals done, their submittals submitted to us. We've reviewed them, submitted to the architect or the design team review, approved. Once it's approved, then we have released the materials. The PO at the manufacturing plant is queued up and ready to go. It's in fabrication. Then it's being delivered, meaning that it's being shipped to on location, right, through any customs and ports, received on site according to a buffer duration, so they can go in and we have it in the supermarket or on site when we need it. And people will inevitably tell me, oh yeah, we have that in Procore. No, you don't. You do not have that. You have a submittal register in Procore. And right now, if somebody listens to this podcast and forwards this to them, they can either sue me or they can start to learn and adapt and improve for the amount of money that we're paying them. And I would rather that happen. Here's my message. The quality checklists are not easy to implement. The safety checklists are not easy to implement. The drawing review features are not easy on the system. There's a lot of needed improvements in that system. And the submittal register only tracks submittals. It does not track the supply chain. It is a broken system. And so when people sign up and they're like, hey, I've got this project management software, I've got Procore, it's all in there, great, we're using the system. Jason, why would we have a procurement log or a buyout log when we have this great system? Why would we duplicate work? It's because it's not right yet. And it's because it doesn't map the supply chain. And it's because these are basic tools that's a part of Project Management 101 that for some reason we've forgotten or didn't know in the first place, and we have to get back to it. So when I go for job after job after job, I'm like, we need a Takt plan that has a buyout log and a procurement log, and sometimes a permit log, that we can make sure that we're scrumming items from left to right and getting them to the right dates so that we can enable the flow of work. And they're like, oh yeah, well, I've got it in Procore. No, you don't. Or why would I do this separate log when I already have it in Procore? Because you don't have it in Procore. These are basic fundamental things. Your buyout log should ensure that your trades are ready to go when you need them. Your design action log or completion log should make sure design is ready when you need it to be done. Your permitting log should make sure that the permissions of the project are done when you need them, whether it's in a log or a schedule. And your procurement log, whether it's in a log or a schedule, has to make sure that your materials are done right and ready to go to your supermarkets according to your buffers on time for just-in-time deliveries, and manage the entire supply chain. So let me ask you a question. In Procore, does it manage all of those things that I've just mentioned? Does it manage the delivery and staging of things on site? Does it also manage the buffer and the supermarkets? Does it manage the entire supply chain? And right now, as of this podcast, the answer is no. And so I'm waiting to get a call from somebody's lawyer or from somebody to say, we're ready to update this software for people so that they're no longer struggling with this. Or I expect everybody, when we're talking about it on projects, to understand that you still need, because of a deficiency in the technology and the platforms that we're using, that we still need a buyout log and a material procurement log, because that's the way we run projects. And so I really want to make sure that we understand this, and that when somebody says it's in Procore, that they understand that about 25% of the things you think are in Procore are actually in Procore. It takes a lot more to run a job than that. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.